Hey guys, happy Sunday. It's Joe here of Sports Grid. Welcome to Puck It Up with Joe here on Sports Grid TV on Twitter as well as on IG Alive. We've got two games only to go over today. It's going to be a nice, quick, fast show, which is exactly what we need before football kicks off today. These games starting later in the day. We don't have confirmations of all of the goalies here, but we have enough information to give you some bets in these games. Now, three of these teams are on the back to back. Calgary being the only team not on the back to back today, with them playing on a Friday night, but on the third game of a road trip here. Now we do have Detroit at home in this one. Detroit coming off an incredible win over the Ottawa Senators. You guys know I didn't see that one coming. I really thought the Ottawa Senators would be able to get that one done at home. Detroit came so fast and hard out of the gate. This is a team I have a lot of faith in this upcoming, well, not this upcoming season, this season here. I think they're going to be able to have a chance to make the playoffs and go deep if they continue how hot they have come right out of the gate. They've got strong puck presence on both sides of the puck, so it is great to see. But you guys, we're going to go over both of these games here on the ice today. Happy Sunday to everyone. It's hard to believe it is already Sunday. What do you guys think of the games yesterday out there on the ice? I hope you guys tailed. We got Connor Bedard for the first goal scorer for the Chicago Blackhawks. He actually scored the first one of the full game, so that was beautiful to see. But that was a plus a 650. Him coming home after that long road trip, his first game on home ice. You had to look at that storyline. Ultimately, Vegas closed it out. How Vegas should have closed that out with a nice big puck line cover there. Just such a dominant team. And Vegas making history, being one of the best teams, 6-0 record after winning the Stanley Cup. Such a phenomenal, deep team here. Just unheard of what they've been doing. No hangover from winning that Stanley Cup. Will the slump come? Might come. But let's jump into today's games. Enough about yesterday. Looking at the odds here, the Calgary Flames are coming in at minus 142, the favorite on the road. The Red Wings plus 118, a total of 6.5. Now it's juiced to that over 6.5 at minus 122. And I see why. We look at the Calgary Flames. This team is allowing those goals. They're allowing a 3.2 goals actually per game and 29 shots on goal. So defensively doing strong, but still a couple of shaky moments for Jacob Markstrom out there and Dan Vladar. So looking at this one here, I would lean to that game to go over. This one is another game that really does scream a tight battle between these two, 4-3 kind of coin flip game. James Reimer is confirmed in goal here for the for the Red Wings. So we saw yesterday a really strong game out of this team. And James Reimer can do enough here against Calgary. Calgary is averaging a lot of shots on goal at 24.2. But I do think we can see a strong presence out of him in this one. He is off that shutout win versus the Columbus Blue Jackets, in which he faced like only 23 shots. He's going to face a lot more here. So I do expect Calgary to be able to at least get 3 goals on him. I expect him to come out of the gate, and that's where him to be the most shaky, especially off that shutout. We see that sometimes with these goalies. So give me the over 6.5. Another thing I'm going to look at here is Calgary and the Red Wings to both get off to hot starts. We know both of these teams are going to be eager to get those goals in that first period. The both teams to score in the first period is coming in at plus 152, and I think it's a phenomenal way to take this one instead of just the over 1.5. I have faith in Calgary here. Now, their goal scoring is lower than expected to start this season, but they get off to hot starts normally in these games, and that's when they start to blow things after they're off to hot starts. So instead of taking a side here, give me both teams to score in the first period, plus 152. Give me the over 6.5. Yes, we're going to have to lay juice with that. I'm also going to look at the same game parlay for shots on goal in this game. I think Alex DeBrincat, after being held to 1 goal in the last game and being held off the he only had 1 shot on goal, held off the scoreboard in the game versus the Senators, should have a big one here. I'd look at Alex DeBrincat for the anytime goal. That's coming in at plus 170. I absolutely love the value on him in this one. Looking at the Red Wings, one thing that is phenomenally strong about them is their power play. They're actually the best overall in the league right now, sitting at a 50% conversion rate on that power play. And Calgary It's been like they've been sleeping on that power play, only able to convert on 16.7%. But their penalty kill is very strong. They're third overall in the league with the kill at 94.1%. Calgary has to play a clean game here because I do think that number is going to drop versus this Red Wings team. They're young, they're fast, and they are absolutely hungry out there on the ice. So we need a clean game out of Calgary, and they need to start converting on these power plays. But let's look at the same game parlay for shots on goal. I'm going to take three players here, all for 3+ shots on goal. Now, this parlay is built over on FanDuel. It pays you plus 297, so almost 3 to 1 for your money on these guys to get 3+ shots on goal. The first player we're going to look at, we just talked about him, Alex DeBrincat here of the Detroit Red Wings. I do think he can get 3 shots on goal in this one. We know he was held to only one in the last game, but that is not like him. This player is so strong. He is one of the leading players here for the Red Wings with Dylan Larkin, and he's been just flying out there on the ice and recording shots on goal and to the over in most of his games out here. So I'm going to take him 3+ shots on goal. Then we're going to turn to the Calgary Flames. The Calgary Flames are doing a solid job at averaging 34.2 shots on goal per game, and both of these teams giving up around 29. So I do think there is a lot of opportunity for these defenses to give up these shots on their goaltenders. We're going to look at Elias Lindholm here for the 3+ shots on goal. Now, he is very strong for Calgary right now with the 2 goals and the 4 assists. Looking at his shots on goal in the last one versus the Columbus Blue Jackets, the Calgary did lose. He was able to record 6 shots on goal, just having no puck luck. Those shots were not able to go in, and 3-3-3 in those prior 3 games for his shots on goal. So he's hit this or gone over this in his last 4. And then we're going to look at Nazem Kadri, someone I haven't talked a lot about here. Nazem Kadri yet to get a goal on the season, but he's had those shots coming in. We saw him really step up versus the Columbus Blue Jackets as well, also recording 6 shots on goal. So I wouldn't be shocked if Nazem Kadri got on the scoreboard or at least got an assist in this game today, but I do expect those 3 shots on goal to come in and cash nicely. So one more time, that same game, shots on goal parlay, take all of these players, 3+ shots on goal. It's going to pay you plus 297. That is Alex DeBrincat, Elias Lindholm, and Nazem Kadri. Now, DeBrincat is with the Red Wings, and Lindholm and Kadri are with the Calgary Flames. So that is your bet there. The over has hit in 13 of the last 21 meetings in Detroit, with 6 of those going under and 2 of those pushing that total at 6.5. We're not going to push that total. Calgary's last game of the road trip here, they're looking to finish up strong. And with the Red Wings off that game versus the Senators, I do think we see a couple more goals coming in, especially with James Reimer in net. Next game on the board, you guys. Only 2 games today after we had, 15 games yesterday. It was crazy. Tomorrow's going to be another light schedule. And then Tuesday, we're going to have a long show here because I think every single team is playing. So the next game, 8:30 Eastern, we have the Boston Bruins taking on the Anaheim Ducks. Now, the Bruins and the Ducks both on the back-to-back here. Now, the Bruins coming off that nice win yesterday, and the Anaheim Ducks losing to the Arizona Coyotes. That was a low-scoring 2-1. Now, they were in Arizona, so had to travel back home. Short plane ride, but still had to travel. And then Boston was just up the road in LA playing the Kings in a game where I still don't understand what the bookmakers were thinking of that line. But the bookmakers giving the Boston Bruins a respect here in Anaheim at -245. That total 6.5, juice to the under at -134. And I hate going the way the books are thinking this one will be going. Ohio Bob with the beer money yesterday. Happy to hear that you won that. Okay, so looking at this is a weird situation because Boston on a back-to-back last season, there was absolutely no struggles for this team. In their last 4 back-to-backs, they've absolutely cruised and they've won. The Anaheim Ducks, on the other hand, have absolutely struggled on those back-to-backs. So they've been a team where they're coming off a game the night before. You just don't bet on them the next day. But here's the kicker. They play super hard versus the Boston Bruins in Anaheim. They've actually dominated the matchups in Anaheim over the Boston Bruins, and they've played some really tight games. When we look at the past 3 games, last January, the Boston Bruins blew them out of the water, but that was in Boston. It was a 7-1 win over the Anaheim Ducks. Looking at the prior game in Anaheim, Boston did get the win 2-1. The, ga- the game before, the Anaheim Ducks did get the win in Boston 4-3. And the game before that in Anaheim, the Ducks did get the win 5-3. So tighter games here than you would expect. You would expect this Boston Bruins team to come in and just run all over this Ducks team. When we look at, they've had 22 games to date, averaging 5.7 goals. It does lead me to this under, and I do think this is where I'm going to go with this bet. The under 6.5 at -134. Boston's only won 8 of those 22 games. The Anaheim Ducks have actually won 14. Average goals per game, the Boston Bruins averaging that 2.6 and the Anaheim Ducks averaging 3.1. What is it with some of these elite teams against some of these weaker teams? We also saw the Anaheim Ducks last Sunday, and who did they beat? The Carolina Hurricanes. And yes, the Carolina Hurricanes defense is nowhere near as stout as the Boston Bruins. They gave up 3 goals in that first period to the Anaheim Ducks. Looking at this game, we look at what these teams have done in the first period. Both teams have only allowed 2 goals across their first 4 games in the first period. So I'm expecting this first period to see 1 goal at the most, the under 1.5 in the first period. And I know it's scary here to take with the Ducks in this case, but I do think you got to look at this under. John Gibson in goal for the Anaheim Ducks. Yet to record a win on the season with a 3.05 goals against average, but he does have a .902 save percentage. You got to think when Boston first comes off that late game last night, that was a 10:30 Eastern game that they finished or they started on the ice last night, that they they're not as rested as they'd like to be going into this game. I could see this game just starting off a little slow. So give me the under 1.5 in the first period. Allmark is expected in net tonight as Swayman played last night. I expected Allmark to play last night. So it was really interesting to see Swayman come out. We know how strong Allmark is, 2-0 on the season with a 1.00 goals against average and that save percentage of a .958. These teams, I tell you, I think this is going to be an absolute battle. Now, if you want to have some faith in the Ducks, you can look at them on the puck line in the first period. It's too juiced. It would be kind of a parlay piece. And with this Ducks team off the back-to-back, I don't think I would allow it in there to wreck my parlay in case something does happen. But that first period puck line is -152. The Ducks +1.5 for the full game. I kind of like that better because we could see them pull James Gibson here at the end of this game and kind of get that last-minute goal to keep this one tight, +1.5 at -122. You could sprinkle on the money line. Crazier things have happened. Like I said, they did beat the Carolina Hurricanes. And then looking at the schedule here between these two, these teams play again on Thursday in Boston. Now, they've got a game in between each, but you look at Boston's schedule after they play the Ducks in their next game on Thursday. The Ducks rolling into Boston and getting the win, I really can't see it happen. If they want to get the win, their best chance is here on their home ice. But after Thursday's game for Boston versus the Ducks, they then have to play the Red Wings, the Panthers, and the Leafs. Hard 3 games after that. So it could be another tight game in Boston, especially if we see the blowout here. I could see that next game for the Ducks. If we see the blowout today, I'm going to, as soon as it opens up, get the Ducks plus the 1.5 because I do think that will be a key look ahead situation. So that bet will depend on what happens in this one today, you guys. But that's it. Just the 2 games on the ice. A nice, quick, and fast. We've got NFL football kicking off pretty quick here. So I'm going to go get my Chargers jersey on. Let's hope the Chiefs do not blow them out of the water and Brandon Staley doesn't make mistakes. And I hope you guys have the best day. Best of luck in all of your bets. If you haven't checked out the Sports Grid app, make sure you go over to the Play Store, the Apple Store, and download it today. There is so much free content over there. It's a free app. You're able to look at prop bets, everything trending right now in the sports world, and you don't want to miss out. You can also follow your favorite hosts. If you didn't catch me last night on Sports Grid, you can also, through the app, you can listen to the radio version and watch the show live. So You guys head on over and have the very best day. Wish you guys all the best in all of your bets. Thanks for joining me here for Pocket with Joe. I will be live again tomorrow at 5:30 Eastern before Game Time Decisions, and then join me on Game Time Decisions on Sports Grid at 6:20. We'll see you guys later. Bye now.